So, in this video, I'm basically gonna do story time basically, and I'm basically gonna explain like how I became like a big time Scream fan, and why it's my favorite franchise. So, basically, it's my favorite franchise number one because it's more humanly, it's more to who done it factor. As to Michael Myers, Jason, the Friday the 13th films, Halloween films, you kind of know who the killers are already. It's only one person. As to where in Scream, it's like multiple people. It's different people in every movie, so it's kind of like makes it more unique. So that's why that's the number one reason why it's my favorite. And another reason why is just because um it's just more humanly. It's just more humanly. Um, as to where, like I said, Michael Myers he can't die. Jason can't die. Um, Ghostface, obviously, different people in every movie, so it's more humanly. It's like a real human, under the mask that just wants to kill, which makes it more, frightening and more creepy. Um, So that's the reason basically why it's my favorite. But I'm basically gonna be talking about, you know, like why and how I started watching the Scream films. So the Scream films, obviously, I watched the third one. The third Scream movie was like my first one that I've ever watched. When I was a little kid. Because I actually borrowed a box set from a friend. Like I said, I told this story probably a long time ago, but I'm just gonna basically, explain it again. Um, I borrowed one of those box sets from a friend, I believe, and it was that actually the old ones, like back of the VSR, like the tapes and all that before the CDs. I think it was like one of those, and I remember watching the first or the third Scream movie, uh, first, and I remember watching the other ones like later. But I watched the third Scream movie first. Weirdly enough, when I was a kid. So when I watched the third Scream movie when I was a kid, obviously it was really like intriguing when I watched it. I really liked it. Um, that's what got me liking it because of the who done it factor. The other movies, the other two movies were kind of like, um, I like those as well. I watched those like later. I watched those probably like in middle school. I believe. I didn't watch them when I was like a kid or nothing for some reason. I might have, but I just don't really remember. But after that, later I watched the first Scream movie because I never had watched it, right? And I went to go watch it, and I was just like, Drew Barrymore's on the cover on the poster, and it turned out she was in the opening scene, and I was like, oh, I thought she was gonna be in the whole movie. So it's kind of like one of those things. When I first watched it, though, man, it really frightened me. The opening scene obviously is like the best opening scene of all time, probably in any horror movie. Um, so I really think that um Drew Barrymore is actually supposed to be she was actually supposed to play the Sydney role throughout all the Scream movies originally, but I guess she didn't really want to do that. She wanted to just be in the opening scene, and wanted to get killed off in the opening instead. So they decided to kill her off in the opening scene. So that's why they never. That's why she was never like the Sydney character, because she didn't really want to do it. But so they had to go and search and find Neve Campbell, and they found Neve Campbell. But anyways, Neve Campbell fit the role really good, really well. She fits the role of Sydney, so she just fits it. you know? So she was the perfect girl for that, role. But anyway, not to say that Drew Barrymore wouldn't have, been good. I think she would have been great too, but um anyways, so that's basically how. So then after that I watched Scream 2 later in life, obviously, like in middle school, like around middle school time. Because I didn't watch them when I was a little kid for some reason. I just watched the third one first for some reason. I just skipped, which a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people watch them for. But I watched the third Scream movie first. So it's kind of like weird how that worked. Weirdly enough, I'm sure a lot of people watched the third Scream movie first when they were kids. Um, but yeah, that was the first Scream movie that I watched. So then I watched the other ones, like I said, later. So then I watched the second Scream movie, and the Randy character, right, that was in the first movie, and I was like, how in the world they killed him off in this movie in the second one? I was like shocked, kind of, because he got killed off in the second movie, and he didn't really have that much time to shine. He just got killed off immediately. Like, he was only in one, Scream film, and then got killed off in the second one. But it was kind of like, how in the hell? He didn't really get that much time, I feel like, in the Scream franchise, but I was really shocked by that. And then after that, I really, really enjoyed those films, especially the second Scream movie. Because obviously I wasn't born when those came out. I was born when the third one came out, but not the other two. So, but I went back and watched them, like I said. So, and I really, really, that's what really got me liking them, really loving them. The first Scream movie's the greatest of all time. The second one's great too. The third one, obviously. After the third one, I was like, I think this one's going to be it. I thought, back when I watched the third one, I was like, this movie's going to be the last one, I was like, this movie's going to be the last, Scream film. Because that was the original plan. They were going to do, just 3 movies, that's it. And they were going to end it after the third movie. So then, years later, they come out to Scream 4. And it's even more hype for me, Scream 4, another Scream movie, Wes Craven, returned. After Scream 3 came out in 2000, and then 10 years later, they decided to make a fourth Scream movie. So they didn't plan on making a fourth one. They had, they were gonna end it at 3 because the ending, obviously, Sydney, the door opening by itself, the end, it's kind of seemed like, goodbye, like a goodbye kind of thing. But so a lot of people, that was gonna be the last Scream movie originally. They were only gonna make 3 films, so they weren't even gonna make a fourth one. But then they decided to make a fourth one. 10 years later, they decided to ask the cast and crew to come back. They came back, and did it. And what a film, guys! What a great return. Like I said, that film was just so great. But I had a lot of memories with like the third film, and obviously more of the third film, than the other two, because the third film was the first one I watched when I was a kid. So yeah. So, and then the fourth one came out, and I was just like, wow, this is even more hype for me, man, because, like I said, the Scream movies are just so unique. The Scream movies are so unique. The whole whodunit factor make it so unique. The humanly aspect to them, make it so unique, it makes it more creepy. It's more humanly, and stuff like that happens in real life and can happen. A person in a mask just wanting to kill somebody just for fun. That's just creepy. And that's kind of unsettling and creepy right there. Like, it's more like, it's just a different kind of creepy. So, that's why I like the Scream movies, and that's basically how I started liking them. The fourth Scream movie was the cast. Like I said, the cast came back after 10 years, which was really cool. And then they obviously Wes Craven planned on doing a fifth one, but then we never got to see it. He sadly passed. Wes Craven, man, was um, the greatest director of all time, man. Like, I really wish that we would have got to see his version, of Scream 5, because his version of Scream 5 probably would have been a little better than, way better than, Radio Silence's version. I think. But anyways, guys, that's basically my little story there. Basically how I became a Scream fan. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know how you guys became like a Scream fan, and what movie you guys watched first, and and tell me like why do you guys like it? Like what's the reason? You guys probably had the same reason as me. Probably because it's more, humanly, and it's a whodunit film, which I like, death mystery. So, anyways, guys, comment down below as always. This is basically my storytelling, my little story there. Be sure to comment down below, as always, and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well.